Welcome to the Living Centred podcast, a podcast all about learning together how to live lives which are centred on Jesus. Everyone lives centred on something. Our goal is to learn together how every area of our lives, everything about who we are and how we live, can be increasingly oriented around Jesus and transformed by Jesus. He invites us to a rich and satisfying life, where the good news that he truly is enough changes everything about how we relate to God, ourselves, and the world. In each episode, a different person shares about what it's looking like for them to seek to centre their life on Jesus right now. As we hear their stories, we get to learn together and to encourage one another in what it means for Jesus to be at the centre of our lives. This is a journey we are all invited to, and a conversation we all get to be a part of. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, my name's Adrian, and it is so good to welcome you to this week's episode of the Living Centred podcast. And today I get to return to a conversation I have had with someone back in 2023. And it's therefore my privilege to introduce and welcome back Janet, who'll be sharing. Janet, it is good to see you.
Thank you. Can't believe it was the end of 23 when we last had this conversation.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Madness.
Time flies.
There we go.
I guess to ease you in, as I do with everyone every week, and just recognise for some they may not have listened to the 23 one, I wonder if you could just start by telling us a little bit about who you are and what your life looks like at this point in time.
So I'm Janet, and I've been part of this wonderful community since towards the end of 2018.
Amazing.
Which is like 8 years. Can't believe it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is busy, I have to say. No, although my new bishop, because I work for the Church of England, and he talks about purposefulness rather than busyness. So
that's really good.
My life is full of purpose, which is good. So I work part-time, a privilege of working part-time. I've a trajectory for retirement sometime in 2028, maybe.
Amazing.
And I currently work for the Worcester Diocese as a clergy development officer. So I have the real privilege of working with the clergy in the kind of Worcester and Dudley area.
Yeah.
I think above all of that, I'm a child of God.
Fantastic.
So that is that baseline. I love that song that says just I'm a child of God, and almost have that on repeat. So, yeah.
Oh, it's so good, Janet. And I love both to get that snapshot in terms of your world of what it looks like, which I know when you say you work part-time, actually it's part-time and some, but in it, just actually within all that makes up your life, actually there's this baseline, this foundation that actually I'm just a child of God. Yeah. And that's not just, that is everything. Yeah. That then defines everything else. Yeah.
I think I also love doing life with people. So there's a lot of people that are in my life, friends, family. I love holidays. So yeah, that adds to the purposefulness of my life.
Really good.
Yeah.
Oh, so
really
good,
important.
Janet. I guess then to jump into a bigger question, which is a different one to the one we'd normally jump in at this point in the podcast, is I was listening back to our conversation in 2023, and a lot of what we talked around was how you were sharing, how you were seeking to live centered on Jesus whilst living through transition. And that was both in the imminent transition to a new job that you're now in and have been in for a few years, but also the pain of transition of loss and people who you really loved and who were no longer here, and just learning to say, Jesus, how do I live with you at the center within all of these things? And I guess I just thought a great place to start, therefore, would be to continue from that point, really. And I just wondered if you could share some of what you've learned then through this season, and maybe it is still learning through this season of learning to live with transition with Jesus at the center.
Yeah, it was been really interesting looking back, actually, and just reflecting on that 2 and a bit years, really. And I think one of my biggest reflections is that change is constant. I think there's more change that's going to be happening in my life as dear friends move away from the city. And as I kind of head into maybe or start to think about a new season, that's massive. I started work when I was 16.
Wow.
I'm no longer 16. And I've been working for not quite 50 years yet, but it's not too far off when I do retire. And I think there's times when it has been really painful really painful. I was on a personal journey of unpicking stuff that had happened in my life around the same time when we did that initial conversation.
Yeah.
It's been really, really interesting just reflecting on that kind of season.
Yeah.
I wasn't in church a couple of weeks ago or a few weeks ago when Wendy Mann preached, but I joined at home actually, which was interesting. And I think I resonated with so much of what she was sharing.
Wow.
And my reflections is I've been through a season of wilderness, really. And I think last year, my word almost for the year was emerging. And I think I have emerged, but God is still showing me stuff. God's really been encouraging me to just sit with a few verses and just letting those really take root almost.
Yeah.
All through my Christian journey, and I've been a Christian since my teens, Romans 8:28 has been there, which is that God brings things together for good. Yeah. And that's been my testimony, actually, all the way through. So when I'm a bit unsure of where I am and what's going to happen or what might not happen, then I think that holds me. It's a bit of an anchor point.
Yeah.
But then the last couple of years, I think since we did the first recording, I've really been sitting in Ephesians 3, and verse 17 talks about how God makes his home in our heart, in my heart, as I trust him. And I've just been really sitting with that this year, that as I trust, then God will make his home in my heart and my roots will grow down deeper into God's love.
Wow.
And that keeps me strong. I was on retreat towards the end of last year, and I was sitting in Jeremiah 29 as well. And the bit that's after, God promises to prosper you and not to harm you. But the next bit of that says, you shall seek me and find me. So when you search for me with all your heart, then God's there to be found. Yeah. And again, I think they're anchor points. And so my reflection is that actually, yes, there's been a lot of change. Transitioning into this thing called the Church of England has been massive.
Yeah.
And I only understand a tiny bit of it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I've given myself permission not to understand it. But through it all, God has his hand on our lives. He has his hand on my life. But as I trust him, he shows up and the roots go deeper.
It's really good, Janet. Thank you for sharing. I think it's just really helpful to even hear a starting point of like, what does it look like in terms of learning to live with Jesus at the center through transition, is actually realizing you don't get to the end of it. It's just life is one of change. And even you saying, yep, and still there's more. I know there's more that I'm leaning into as people I really love are moving away, or how I'm like figuring out, right, okay, I've done this thing of paid employment for nearly 50 years. Like what's life can look like not doing that. I've just think, there's these changes, and that the reality is then within living with transition, part of what you learn is painful. And there are moments where it's painful through both what you're experiencing in that moment, but also how God in his loving kindness uses it to kind of reveal other things and say, hey, I'm going to use this for one of your anchor points of to work all things for good.
Yeah.
And what I loved is then you saying, well, how do you navigate the transition, or even like where you found comfort in Wendy Mann's language of how do you navigate the wilderness, is what you found is these anchor points in God through his promise through scripture, and just not rushing off, but actually saying, no, I want to see this bedded into who I am, of whether it's that Romans 8:28, which is just like being the anchor point through years, or more recently, the invitation of God, you want to make your home in me as I surrender more. Surrender's my language. Your language is trust. Trust in you more in order that you'd cause my roots to go deeper in your love, which is just profound. And then even that Jeremiah 1 to end of like, and then it isn't like God's like hiding from us. Actually, as we seek more of who we are, he's there, ready. Oh, it's just comforting. And my guess is because all of us live with transition, live with change, this is just really helpful of owning and putting words on some things that maybe it's painful at the moment, or what is it that's anchoring me through this? Because God longs to anchor us.
Yeah, I think there's probably been moments in the last couple of years when I think, am I going to come through this?
Wow.
But trust in him.
Yeah.
And it's easy words, but so difficult to do sometimes. But when we seek him, he turns up for us.
He really does. He really does. I can see, I'm not going to push you too hard because I can see everything in me is like, I can push to another question. I'm not going to do that, but I can see just the reality of that, of actually, yep, there are some points where it feels like, will this be? And can it be?
Yeah.
And yet being able to go, no, yeah, I can trust him.
And also trust in the process. Yeah, that maybe God takes you through, and trust in people he puts around you.
That's really good.
Yeah, that was just a bit of a revelation this year, actually. I was away with a friend and I had some time in the morning while she was having a sleep in. And it was just that Christ will make his home in your heart as you trust him. Thinking, actually, we have to turn up here. We have to be intentional here around that. And I found that really helpful.
I love that. I think there's the invitation of intentionality that God's there. He's never going to push us into something. He lovingly waits for us to turn and then immediately sweeps in. It's like, that's kind of how I imagine it. But I love how you say, it's trusting in the process, which can be hard. But also, I loved how you then said, but it's also trusting in the people that God's put around you. Yeah. I think from my experience, there's always been that reality of the moments where it just feels like, how do I do this? That I can look around and actually, I'm not meant to do this by myself. There's these bits, I've got to take the risk again with a vulnerability and see. And sometimes that works. Sometimes it's like, yep, I've got to push a bit more. Yeah, there's these people. Maybe it's going to be them more than those that have been there in the past. It's just that. But I love how you're saying, it's trusting God, trusting the process, trusting the people around. Oh, it's really beautiful.
Not wanting to jump to your third question, I think that's some of the change that's happened in me, is that I've been more able and willing to kind of show that vulnerability.
Wow.
Whereas I don't think I was in that position of being able to do that probably 2-3 years ago, maybe.
That's amazing. I don't mind jumping around the questions. It's a return conversation. There are no rules.
No rules.
That in it, just hearing you say that of just, how am I changing? Yep. That through this and however painful it's been, actually part of what's emerged is being able to trust and be more vulnerable.
I think part of my backstory that I've learned is we've had to be okay. Growing up and what happened.
Yeah.
When I was a child, we had to be okay.
Yeah. And
that becomes a habit and that becomes a learned experience. And to unlearn that takes some doing.
That's amazing.
So I think there's been a lot of unlearning and permission.
Yeah.
Permission giving to myself, really, to be as I need to be, really.
Oh, it's phenomenal, Jenna. And again, thank you for sharing. I just think it does. I've got there early. It does my heart so much good. I'm just always like one to vulnerability. I don't think there's any other way to be. I'm just saying, this is it. This is it. And there's just a beauty in it. I kind of get why Jesus says, who am I? I'm one who is gentle and humble. I'm one who knows how to handle bruised reeds and smouldering wicks. It kind of makes sense of our lives. You're like, I feel like that. And you're the only one who can handle that. And then the invitation then is that we then get to be like him in how we handle one another.
Yeah. I think that's really helpful, actually, because I find myself in that position in my job.
Yeah.
That I'm holding space for other people to be vulnerable as well. So leading with some of that has been part of my work journey, if you like.
Oh, it's amazing, which then anchors back into your thing of, God works all things for the good. It's like, nothing's wasted.
Nothing is wasted. No, that's been a huge learning across my sort of working life almost, is that, there's been times when I've been in certain places and you think, why? But then, I find now this job I have is a real gift, actually, because I'm pulling on experience that I've had through the whole of my working life. And it's almost God's given me this gift for the last sort of 4 years of my working life, really.
Oh, it's beautiful. I think where I'd love us to end in this conversation is like within all of that then, because you've given us so much already in terms of, which I'll say some things of what I'm going to be pondering over the coming week. But before we get there, like we've done like how you're changing, like what are you discovering then about who God is as Father, Son and Spirit?
That actually, that God's there and that when you seek me, you will find me. And he's absolutely thrilled when we do this. That kind of sat with that word this morning, that he's thrilled, he's delighted that we do that he loves me. He's gentle with us as well. So a friend of mine who's journeyed with me the last few years, and I've journeyed with them actually. We do some, they've got an adopted boy and, you know, life has been really challenging for them and we kind of support each other really, or have been. And she likens it to an onion and that God's been gently peeling some of the layers back.
Wow.
And he does that at a rate we can manage, actually. But it takes time.
Yes.
I like ticking things off my to-do list.
Yeah.
I love a list and I love ticking them off. But actually, some things, it just needs time and it's okay to take some of that time. So our version in the diocese of our pause centre continue and those rhythms, they talk about a divert daily, a withdraw weekly and an abandon annually. And so that just really is about slowing down. And I've added a monthly one in, which is a meditate monthly or a marinate monthly or something like that. So just trying to divert and just to take some pause moments. So these friends of mine talk about micro holidays and that might, in their full life, it might just be a coffee outside.
Amazing.
But being intentional about that time as well. So I found being part-time rhythm really difficult because one rhythm doesn't suit all. And even in my work days, I've got different rhythms. And I've given myself a bit of permission not to beat myself up about it because I don't think God is.
No.
So I think he's just thrilled when we turn up.
I love that. Oh man, so you need to hear that if you listen to it. Like, God is thrilled when we turn up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good news. That's such good news.
Again, being intentional about that, I think, and just going to have this cup of tea.
Yeah.
And sit in the garden and I've got all these emails to do, but I'm not going to do them.
It's really good. Oh, I love it, Janet. What I love is just you saying, what am I discovering about God is he's there. And that when I turn and seek him, he's there to be found. And that in it, he's one that is continuously loving, continuously delighting me. And yet he's gentle. And that in his gentleness, it means that he knows how to handle me and takes the time needed. I love that. I always think, man, God, you're not in a rush. And because he just wants to do it thoroughly. And I think so often I can be in the rush and it's actually, no, I need to go at your pace. And what I love then is you saying, and therefore in learning that about God, it then shapes how you then live, of realizing, yep, I need to, within my purposeful life, seek to say, how do I put into the rhythms that I'm living with that enable me to go at your speed. God. Oh, it's really beautiful.
And I get bored with things, I've realised as well. So I'll follow something for a while and then I'll move on to something else. And so I probably have 3 things that I dive into, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I give myself permission just to do what's helpful for that time.
It's really good.
So, yeah.
That's really good. Having said I wasn't asking more, what are they? Because everyone's going to be like, what are the 3 things?
Okay. So one is, it's an app called Sacred Space.
Amazing. And
it's actually from the Catholic Church, actually. They take you through something each day.
Great.
And it starts with presence. It then goes into like a freedom or what have you. And yeah, I find that just really beautiful. I mean, there's
great.
one that, and they do repeat them from over a period of time. I don't know what that period of time was. And this morning's was the same as one that I really love, which is God is closer than your breath.
Amazing.
And I just find that just brings me centered and present.
Yeah.
And I love that. So there's that one. I've got a book called Centering Prayers. I pick that up from time to time. But what I particularly love about that book is for each month it has a kind of a theme or some words that then it builds on through the month. But I love the phrase that it uses at the start of each month. So
it's really good.
I use that. Actually, if on the days when I can travel to work on the train, which I try to do,
it
hasn't been so much recently, I love the podcasts. And I love hearing people's stories, and they are just ideal. I can put my earpieces in, and that just really helps. So, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Jan. I think it's really helpful. And we'll put in the show notes some links in terms of the Sacred Space app and the Centering Prayer book, which we also have in our home. Really good. And I think I don't mind a shout out for the podcast, because what I think it does for me, listening to it, is it reminds me I'm on this journey with Jesus, with others, and I'm not meant to do it by myself, and I do it with others, and I get to see this beauty of what Jesus is doing in through their life in the world that they're in, which I find it just does me good. Yeah.
And I've always got, when I'm driving or if I'm walking, then I will have kind of praise music.
Oh, amazing.
Going round and round, and I find that really helpful actually. Yeah, I don't really know what's coming or what have you. Is one of those Spotify kind of things.
I think it's great. I think it's those moments of just like you filling your head with truth.
Yeah.
Often we're singing the truth. It's just there, and just Jesus, I just want everything to be in celebration of you. It's good.
One of the things I try to do at work, and it doesn't always happen, but if I get the opportunity. So last week I was with one of our clergy, and she said, I can meet you at 10:30. We've got morning prayer at 9:30, but I can meet you after that. And I said, well, can I come to morning prayer?
Amazing.
It's not my tradition, but actually sometimes being in a different setting.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
We had a team away day a few weeks ago, and we had communion together, which is very different to how we do communion here.
Yeah.
It was quite high Anglican, but there was part of it that moved me incredibly.
Yes.
So I try to be a little bit intentional about seeking those things out in my job.
That's really good.
And so it's lovely being out and about and meeting people as well, really. And I just am so in awe of faithful people. I was with, let's say, this vicar, and there was probably 3-4 other people from the church that gather to pray together every week.
Amazing.
Incredible. Yeah. Absolutely incredible, the faithfulness of a few.
Yeah. Actually. Oh, it's that, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that's good, man. This is the oxygen. There's a new Pingo word. This is the oxygen. I love this. Thank you, Janet, for sharing. I think, as always, heartful, feel an immense sense of joy. I think out of the beauty of all that you've shared, I just want to spend a bit of time this coming week just reminding myself of the verses that are my anchor points at this point, as I know what some of those are. And so I just want to just go back over those and just keep anchored in those. How about you, my listening friends? What are you going to contemplate, consider a bit more this coming week out of the wonder and beauty of everything that Janet has shared with us? Otherwise, I just want to finish by saying thank you so much for listening. And I just want to pray for each and every one of us. I pray we would know more of the wonder of living centered on Jesus this coming week. Amen.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of the Living Centered podcast. New episodes are released every Monday, and if you enjoyed this episode, please do like and subscribe on your chosen podcast provider to receive them direct each week. Living Centered is produced by the team at Oasis Church in Birmingham, UK, and you can find out more and get in touch with the team via theoasischurch.com.